My grandmother appeared in my dream the night before my wedding and gave me a warning that changed my life forever. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and whispered, "Do not marry him. Go to his mother's house tomorrow morning. You will see the truth." When I woke up, I thought it was only a nightmare. I never imagined that dream would save me from the biggest mistake of my life. My name is Claire Bennett, and I was 30 years old when I thought I had found my perfect partner. My wedding was only 3 weeks away. Everything was prepared: the dress, the invitations, the venue. From the outside, my life looked perfect, but deep inside, I felt a strange fear that I could not explain. My grandmother Evelyn always taught me to trust my instincts. She raised me after I lost my parents, and she used to tell me that love should bring peace, not confusion. After her death, I kept remembering her words whenever something felt wrong. I met Robert Collins at the bank where I worked as an accountant. He was charming, confident, and made me feel special. He talked about our future, our home, and the life we would build together. When he proposed at a romantic dinner, I said yes without thinking twice. But there were small things I ignored. His mother, Teresa, never really welcomed me. During my first visit, she asked about my salary, my savings, and the apartment I owned. She smiled, but her questions felt more like an investigation than a conversation. The night before I visited her again, I had the dream about my grandmother. "Claire, listen to me," she said. "Robert is not who he says he is. Go to his mother's house alone. You need to know the truth." I woke up terrified, but something inside me told me to listen. The next morning, I drove to Teresa's house without telling Robert. When I arrived, I saw a young blonde woman leaving through the back door. She looked nervous and rushed away. A few moments later, Teresa opened the door. Inside her house, I noticed a folder on the table. While she was in the kitchen, I quickly looked inside. My heart stopped. There were names of women, addresses, property details, and notes about their financial situations. It was not a wedding document. It was a list of targets. When I asked Teresa about the woman I saw leaving, her expression changed. She brought out an old photo album and placed it in front of me. Inside were pictures of Robert with the same blonde woman. They were not just dating. They had been married. I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. That night, I confronted Robert. "Why didn't you tell me you were married?" His smile disappeared. He called it a mistake and said it was in the past. But when I mentioned the folder at his mother's house, his attitude changed completely. For the first time, I saw anger instead of love. With the help of my best friend, Margaret, I searched for the blonde woman. Her name was Lisa Moreno. When we contacted her, she revealed a shocking truth. Robert had done the same thing to her. He convinced her to sell her house because they would invest together. After she gave him the money, he disappeared. Then we found more women. Robert had a pattern. He chose women who were independent, owned property, and trusted him. He built fake relationships, gained control, and took everything he could. I hired a private investigator named Alan Harris. What he discovered destroyed every remaining doubt. Robert Collins was not even his real name. He had multiple identities. His business was fake. His documents were fake. His entire life was a carefully created lie. Even worse, Teresa had helped him. But when she realized the truth was coming out, she agreed to testify against her known son. The evidence grew stronger. More victims came forward, and finally Robert was arrested. Seeing him in court was strange. The man who once promised me forever was now standing there exposed for who he really was. He was sentenced for fraud and criminal conspiracy, but the greatest victory was not his punishment. It was seeing the women he hurt stand together and reclaim their lives. Months later, I dreamed of my grandmother again. This time she was smiling in a beautiful field of flowers. "You are free now," she told me. I woke up crying, but those tears were not from fear. They were from relief. That experience taught me something I will never forget. Never ignore the feeling inside your heart. Sometimes the warning you receive is the very thing that saves your life.